Welcome to Crypto Analytica. Before we begin, if you enjoy this deep dive into Cardano, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, for more cryptocurrency analyses. So today, we are going to be taking a pretty comprehensive look at Cardano and specifically its ADA tokens. We're going to be trying to assess its potential as an investment. And we're going to be using data spanning from September 2024 to today, January 15, 2025. And this is going to include publicly available data news articles and expert opinions. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll be able to understand whether or not ADA is a worthwhile addition to your crypto portfolio.
Yeah, the aim today is to give you a really detailed analysis of Cardano. We're going to cover its strengths, weaknesses, recent performance, and its future prospects. And by the end, we're going to give it an investment rating on a scale of 1 to 10. With 1 being a shitcoin and 10 being a fantastic investment opportunity.
Okay, so why don't we start with a brief overview of Cardano, just to give everyone some context.
Yeah.
I know that it aimed to be a very secure and sustainable platform for financial applications, smart contracts, and dApps.
Yeah, and one of the things that makes Cardano a little bit different is its layered architecture. So Cardano has 2 layers. You've got the Cardano settlement layer, or CSL, and then you've got the Cardano computation layer, or CCL. And this approach is designed to enhance scalability and security. So the CSL handles the transaction aspect of the blockchain, and then the CCL handles the execution of smart contracts.
Okay, that's interesting. Is there any practical advantage to separating these 2 functions like that?
Absolutely. It allows for more efficient processing and upgrades. You can think of it like a well-structured business, with separate departments handling specialized tasks. And so this modularity allows for focused improvements, and it reduces any potential bottlenecks.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Cardano also seems to emphasize a very research-driven development process, right?
Yeah, definitely. Cardano prides itself on its rigorous development approach. They really focus on using peer-reviewed research and formal verification methods. And this meticulous process is all aimed at ensuring the platform's robustness and security.
So they kind of prioritize a much slower, more deliberate development process over just rapid releases.
Exactly. So although this approach can mean slower implementation of features, it also reduces vulnerabilities and ensures long-term stability.
And then moving on to another core feature, Cardano uses the Ouroboros proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, which has gotten a lot of attention lately just because of its energy efficiency, especially compared to proof-of-work systems like Bitcoin.
Yeah, Ouroboros is definitely considered to be one of Cardano's strengths, especially as these environmental concerns surrounding cryptocurrency mining become more and more prominent.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so now let's turn our attention to Cardano's recent price performance and trends.
Okay, so as of today, January 15th, 2025, ADA is trading around $0.87. We've observed that bulls are actively defending this level, and this could signal confidence in ADA's price potential. However, ADA has faced a significant decline since the beginning of the year, dropping 44% year-to-date, which is notably lower than the performance of Bitcoin and Ethereum over the same period.
I did notice that there's been a recent surge in trading volume exceeding $1 billion. What's your take on that?
Well, this surge in trading volume is potentially a sign of growing investor interest. However, we also need to consider this alongside the Relative Strength Index, or RSI.
Can you quickly just explain what the RSI indicates for anyone who's not familiar?
Sure. The RSI is essentially a momentum indicator that measures the magnitude of recent price changes. And so it's used to evaluate overbought or oversold conditions in the price of a stock or other asset. And in this case, the RSI suggests that ADA might be entering overbought territory, which could signal a potential price correction in the near future.
So while the increase in trading volume is positive, the RSI is saying, maybe we should be a little bit cautious here.
Exactly. Market sentiment can shift very quickly. And just relying on trading volume as an indicator of future price movements can be very misleading.
Okay, so let's delve into some of the factors that are actually influencing ADA's price. We just talked about trading volume and investor interest, but what other elements do you think investors should be considering?
Well, market dynamics play a crucial role. The overall cryptocurrency market sentiment and the dominance of Bitcoin. They really influence the performance of altcoins like ADA.
Can you just quickly explain for any viewers that are new to crypto what altcoin season is?
Sure. So altcoin season refers to a period when Bitcoin's dominance decreases. And this allows other cryptocurrencies or altcoins to experience significant price gains. Historically, altcoins have tended to perform better during these periods.
So ADA's performance could be even better if we enter a period where Bitcoin's market share kind of shrinks a little bit.
Yeah, that's one possibility. But it's important to remember that this is just a speculative observation. It's not a guaranteed outcome.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
Okay, and then I know that network upgrades and developments are another key factor. And particularly, I think a lot of people are talking about Cardano's recent Chang update, which aimed to improve scalability and introduce a community-driven governance. Can you elaborate on the significance of this update?
Yeah, so the Chang update is notable for its introduction of a community-driven governance model through a hard fork. This essentially gives ADA holders voting rights, which enhances decentralization. It also lays the groundwork for Ouroboros Laos, which is the next generation of Cardano's consensus mechanism, which is designed to further enhance scalability and security.
So this kind of suggests a move toward a more community-centric development approach for Cardano.
Precisely. Giving ADA holders a voice in the platform's future direction is a significant step towards having a more decentralized and community-driven ecosystem.
For sure. And then partnerships and real-world adoption are obviously critical factors in assessing a cryptocurrency's potential. And we have seen some really interesting developments with Cardano in this area, particularly its partnership with the Ethiopian government. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, so Cardano partnered with the Ethiopian government to deploy a blockchain-based ID system for students and teachers. And this is a great example of how Cardano's technology can be applied to address real-world challenges, particularly in the education sector.
Yeah, so not only is this partnership a testament to Cardano's potential for real-world adoption, but it also highlights its ability to make a tangible impact in crucial sectors like education.
Exactly. These types of partnerships can be catalysts for broader adoption, and they demonstrate the practical value and utility of blockchain technology, beyond just speculative trading.
For sure, for sure. But of course, no investment analysis is complete without acknowledging the competition. I know that Cardano faces some pretty stiff competition from established players like Ethereum, as well as newer projects that are vying for market dominance. So how does Cardano stack up against all these competitors?
That's a very important consideration. While Cardano has a strong technological foundation, it needs to continue to innovate and attract developers to build on its platform. The DeFi space is a rapidly evolving area where Cardano needs to establish a strong presence.
So essentially, Cardano needs to showcase its technological strengths, but it also needs to prove that it can foster a vibrant and active ecosystem that can kind of rival its competitors.
Yeah, I think so. Ultimately, the success of any blockchain platform depends on its ability to attract users and developers who see value in its offerings.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. So now why don't we shift our focus and look at some of Cardano's strengths in a bit more detail. One of the most frequently cited strengths is its strong development team. Can you tell us a bit more about their expertise and background?
Yeah, so Cardano boasts its development team with experience in both academia and industry. Their focus on peer-reviewed research and formal verification is a key differentiator, and it really instills a lot of confidence in the platform's underlying technology.
Yeah, it does. Especially in an industry where security is so important. This emphasis on research and rigorous testing is great.
Yeah, for sure. Cardano's commitment to security is another one of its major strengths. Its layered architecture, combined with the Ouroboros consensus mechanism, really enhance its security posture, which is crucial in the current landscape where cybersecurity threats are becoming increasingly sophisticated.
Yeah, for sure. And we've already talked a bit about Cardano's efforts to address these scalability challenges. Can you explain how its architecture is actually designed to accommodate future growth and handle such a high volume of transactions?
Yeah, so Cardano's layered architecture is specifically designed to address scalability issues, which a lot of blockchain platforms face. Separating the CSL and CCL allows for more efficient processing and paves the way for future upgrades that can further enhance Cardano's ability to handle a growing number of transactions.
So essentially, scalability is not just a current feature, it's actually a core consideration for Cardano's future development.
Exactly. The platform was built with an eye towards accommodating the anticipated growth in blockchain usage and ensuring that it can handle the demands of a larger user base.
And we've also discussed the sustainability aspect of Cardano's proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. Can you just expand a little bit on why this is such a significant advantage in today's world?
Sure. So the energy efficiency of proof of stake compared to proof of work is a really significant advantage, especially as environmental consciousness grows. This resonates with environmentally conscious investors
Right.
who are increasingly considering the sustainability factor in their investment decisions. And Cardano's Ouroboros protocol stands out as a more sustainable alternative to energy-intensive mining processes that are used by blockchains like Bitcoin.
So essentially, Cardano's focus on sustainability aligns with this growing trend of responsible investing that considers the environmental impact of technologies.
Yes. And this focus on sustainability could be a key differentiator for Cardano, as the importance of environmental considerations continue to rise in the investment landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, another key strength for Cardano is its active and dedicated community. How do you think this community actually contributes to the platform's development and adoption?
Well, Cardano's community plays a vital role in the platform's growth and evolution. This is a very passionate community. They contribute to the platform's development through providing feedback, doing testing, and advocating for the platform. The level of community involvement often serves as a strong indicator of a project's long-term potential.
Okay, that's great. So this concludes part one of our deep dive into Cardano. I think we've covered a lot. We've gone over the platform's overview. We've looked at its recent price performance, and we've done a pretty detailed look at all of its strengths. So in part two, we're going to examine Cardano's weaknesses, we're going to assess its future prospects, and we'll analyze the associated risks and potential rewards for investors. Welcome back to our deep dive into Cardano. So in this segment, we're going to delve into some of the challenges and potential drawbacks associated with the platform, because obviously no investment is without risk. So it's really crucial to understand both sides of the equation before you go ahead and make any decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. So while Cardano has a lot of strengths, it's also important to acknowledge some of its limitations. And I think one of the main criticisms of Cardano is its slower pace of development.
Yeah, we touched upon this earlier when we were talking about Cardano's very rigorous development process. So how might this slower pace actually impact Cardano's ability to compete in what is obviously a rapidly evolving cryptocurrency market?
Well, the emphasis on this peer-reviewed research and formal verification, although it's great for quality and security, it can result in a slower rollout of new features and upgrades. And I think this is especially relevant in the fast-paced world of cryptocurrencies, where new trends and technologies are emerging constantly. So delays in implementation could hinder Cardano's ability to keep up with the competition and attract developers who are looking for cutting-edge platforms.
So while the meticulous approach is great from a security standpoint, it could pose a challenge in terms of agility and being able to respond to new market trends.
Exactly. It's this balancing act between ensuring that the platform is robust, but also being able to keep up with the rapid pace of innovation in the blockchain space.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another concern that's frequently raised is the regulatory uncertainty that's surrounding cryptocurrencies in general. And obviously, the ongoing SEC lawsuit against Ripple has cast a shadow over the entire industry. So how might this regulatory uncertainty affect Cardano?
Well, I think the regulatory landscape is a really significant concern for the entire cryptocurrency market. The outcome of the SEC lawsuit against Ripple could have far-reaching implications, potentially setting precedents that affect other cryptocurrencies, including ADA.
So I imagine this uncertainty creates quite a bit of hesitation among investors who are just looking for clarity and stability in the regulatory environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Regulatory clarity is crucial for encouraging wider adoption and fostering confidence. So until some clear guidelines are established, this uncertainty will likely remain a factor, influencing investor sentiment towards Cardano and other cryptocurrencies.
We've also talked about the competitive landscape and the need for Cardano to stand out amongst these established players like Ethereum and this growing number of newer projects. What do you see as some of the specific challenges that Cardano faces in this area?
Well, I think Cardano really needs to demonstrate its unique value proposition to attract developers and users. And although it has a really strong technological foundation, it's essential to be able to translate this into a thriving ecosystem with a diverse range of dApps and use cases.
So for example, Ethereum has a very significant first mover advantage.
Right.
And obviously has a much larger developer community. So how can Cardano actually effectively compete in a space like that?
Attracting developers is key, and this can be done by providing robust development tools, fostering a very supportive community, and showcasing successful dApps that are built on the platform. Additionally, continually innovating and introducing new features that address market demands, that's going to be crucial for Cardano to differentiate itself.
So they need to build a really compelling case for developers to choose their platform over alternatives
Exactly. The competition for talent and innovation in the blockchain space is fierce. So Cardano needs to really actively position itself as a leader to be able to attract the best minds in the industry.
And then finally, I know that Cardano, like a lot of cryptocurrencies, is facing some adoption hurdles. And while there are some promising use cases and partnerships, real-world adoption is still relatively limited. So what factors do you think are actually hindering this wider adoption?
I think one of the main challenges is the need for user-friendly interfaces and applications that make it much easier for the average person to interact with blockchain technology, because the technical complexity of cryptocurrencies can be a barrier to entry for a lot of people.
So bridging this gap between the technology and its practical applications in a way that's accessible to everyone, that's really crucial.
Yes, simplifying the user experience and demonstrating the tangible benefits of blockchain technology in everyday life will be key to driving that mainstream adoption.
And I think that also plays into the lack of regulatory clarity that we were talking about. Because businesses and individuals might be hesitant to fully embrace a technology. That's kind of operating in a gray area from a regulatory perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Establishing clear regulatory frameworks will provide the necessary certainty for businesses and individuals to confidently adopt and utilize blockchain technology.
Okay, so now let's shift gears a little bit and look ahead to Cardano's future prospects. What are some of the key developments and trends that you think could shape Cardano's trajectory in the coming years?
Okay, so one significant development to watch is the transition to the Ouroboros-Laos consensus mechanism. This is expected to further enhance Cardano's scalability and security. So Laos introduces a very novel approach to consensus. It's building upon the strengths of Ouroboros while addressing its limitations.
So it seems like scalability is still a top priority for Cardano's development team, which makes sense if they're hoping to accommodate this future growth.
Yes, absolutely. As the number of users and transactions on the blockchain grows, ensuring scalability is paramount to avoid any network congestion and maintain transaction speeds.
And then another interesting aspect is just the growth of the Cardano ecosystem in general. We're seeing a gradual increase in the number of dApps and projects being built on the platform. So how does this contribute to Cardano's potential?
A thriving ecosystem is really crucial for any blockchain platform. The more dApps and projects that utilize Cardano, the higher the demand for ADA, which could potentially drive up its price. So this is a classic network effect, where the value of a network increases as more participants join.
So the growth of the Cardano ecosystem is not only a sign of developer interest,
Yeah.
but it's also a potential driver of value for ADA holders.
Exactly. A vibrant ecosystem attracts more users and developers, and that creates this really positive feedback loop that can lead to sustained growth and increased adoption.
And then I know that Cardano has been venturing into some new areas, especially with the introduction of the Midnight blockchain, which is this privacy-focused sidechain to Cardano. Can you tell us a little bit more about Midnight and its significance?
Sure. Midnight is designed to address the growing demand for privacy-enhancing technologies within the blockchain space. It uses zero-knowledge proofs and other advanced cryptographic techniques to ensure privacy, while still maintaining transparency and security.
So this kind of move into the privacy-focused solutions could open up some new possibilities for Cardano in areas where confidentiality is really important, like sensitive data management and secure communication.
Exactly. Midnight caters to a very specific niche within the blockchain market that is becoming increasingly important as concerns about data privacy and security grow.
And I know that the upcoming launch of the Nightshake T token, which is a Cardano native asset that's associated with the Midnight blockchain, is generating a lot of interest. What role will this token play in the Midnight ecosystem?
So the Night T token will be used to facilitate transactions and governance within the Midnight ecosystem. And I think it's a testament to Cardano's ability to expand its functionality and cater to a very diverse range of use cases.
So it seems like Cardano is actively exploring new avenues for growth and innovation beyond just its core platform.
Yes. The introduction of Midnight and the Night T token demonstrates Cardano's commitment to staying ahead of the curve and addressing emerging trends in the blockchain industry.
To kind of gauge the overall sentiment surrounding Cardano, let's turn our attention to market sentiment and what experts are saying. While sentiment can fluctuate, there does seem to be a general sense of optimism regarding Cardano's long-term potential.
Yeah, I think so. Several analysts and industry experts have expressed positive views on Cardano, citing its strong fundamentals, ongoing development, and growing ecosystem as key drivers.
But it's important to acknowledge that not everyone shares this very bullish outlook. Some critics argue that Cardano's development has been too slow, and that has yet to demonstrate its ability to compete with some of these more established players like Ethereum.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Cardano's development pace has been a subject of debate, and the relative lack of dApps compared to Ethereum is a concern for some. However, it's important to consider that Cardano is still a relatively young project, and the development team has consistently prioritized quality and security over speed.
So it really is a matter of perspective. Some see this slower development as a sign of caution and meticulousness, while others perceive it as a lack of agility in what is obviously a fast-moving market.
Exactly. Ultimately, it's up to each investor to weigh these factors and decide whether Cardano's approach aligns with their investment philosophy.
And then we also have to consider the impact of some external factors, such as regulatory developments and overall market trends.
Yeah, absolutely. The cryptocurrency market is inherently volatile, and it's very susceptible to external influences. Regulatory changes, global economic conditions, and even broader technological advancements can all have a really significant impact on ADA's price.
For example, the outcome of the SEC lawsuit against Ripple could have ripple effects across the entire crypto market, including Cardano.
Yes. And then macroeconomic factors like inflation rates, interest rate hikes, and geopolitical events can influence investor sentiment and really affect capital flows into the crypto market.
And then you have to think about the emergence of new technologies and trends within the crypto space, such as DeFi 2.0, the metaverse, and Web3. These could also create both opportunities and challenges for Cardano.
Yeah, for sure. Cardano needs to adapt and evolve to stay relevant in a constantly changing landscape. So embracing new trends and developing solutions that cater to the evolving needs of the market will be crucial for its long-term success.
So taking all of that into consideration, what do you think are Cardano's realistic future prospects? Do you think that ADA could realistically reach price targets of like $3 or even $10 in the coming years?
You know, making price predictions in the cryptocurrency market is really difficult. While some analysts have set pretty ambitious price targets for ADA, it's important to approach these predictions with a healthy dose of skepticism because the market is influenced by a multitude of factors, and a lot of them are unpredictable.
So while it can be tempting to get caught up in price predictions, it's important to focus on the underlying fundamentals and evaluate Cardano's potential based on its technological advancements, ecosystem growth, and adoption trajectory.
Exactly. A solid understanding of Cardano's strengths and weaknesses, coupled with a realistic assessment of the market landscape, is really essential for making informed investment decisions.
Now let's talk about risk assessment, because this is a crucial aspect of any investment analysis. So what are some of the key risks associated with investing in Cardano?
Well, one of the primary risks is the inherent price volatility of cryptocurrencies. You know the market can fluctuate wildly, driven by speculation, news events, and investor sentiment. So ADA, like any cryptocurrency, is subject to these price swings, and investors need to be prepared for potential losses.
So essentially, investing in Cardano requires a certain level of risk tolerance, and that understanding that the value of your investment can fluctuate significantly.
Exactly. I think a sound risk management strategy is essential for navigating the volatility of the crypto market. And this might involve setting stop-loss orders, diversifying your portfolio, and never investing more than you can afford to lose.
And we've already discussed the regulatory landscape and the uncertainty surrounding the SEC lawsuit against Ripple as a potential risk factor.
Yes, the outcome of this lawsuit could have significant implications for Cardano and other cryptocurrencies, potentially leading to increased regulatory scrutiny or even restrictions.
And I think it's also important to note that technological risks are inherent in any blockchain project. While Cardano has a really strong development team and a focus on security, unforeseen vulnerabilities or technical challenges could still arise.
Yeah, that's true. No technology is completely immune to bugs or vulnerabilities, so it's really crucial for Cardano to maintain those rigorous security practices and quickly address any issues that may arise to maintain investor confidence.
And then the competitive landscape is another big risk factor. Cardano is facing this stiff competition from established players like Ethereum and this constant influx of newer projects.
Yeah, the blockchain space is constantly evolving, and new competitors with innovative solutions are emerging all the time. So Cardano needs to constantly adapt and improve to stay ahead of the curve.
So failing to keep pace with innovation and attract developers could lead to a decline in Cardano's market share and ultimately a decrease in the value of ADA.
Exactly. You know, stagnation is not an option in the dynamic world of cryptocurrencies. Continuous innovation and development are essential for survival and growth.
And then another risk, although it's not specific to Cardano, is the potential for market manipulation. The relative lack of regulation in the cryptocurrency market makes it susceptible to price manipulation. and other fraudulent activities.
Yeah, that's an important point. Investors need to be aware of this risk and take steps to protect themselves. This includes conducting thorough research on projects before investing, choosing reputable exchanges, and being really cautious of pump and dump schemes or any other suspicious activities.
So now that we've talked about the risks, let's shift our focus and talk about the potential rewards associated with investing in Cardano. What are some of the key factors that could drive ADA's price higher in the future?
One of the most significant drivers of value for any cryptocurrency is widespread adoption. So if Cardano can successfully demonstrate its utility and attract a large user base, the demand for ADA will inevitably increase.
So essentially, as more people use Cardano for various applications, the demand for ADA will rise, and that could lead to price appreciation.
Exactly. The utility of ADA is directly tied to the adoption and usage of the Cardano platform. The more valuable the platform becomes, the more valuable its native token becomes.
We've already talked about the growth of the Cardano ecosystem as a positive sign. As more dApps and projects are built on the platform, the demand for ADA to be able to access and utilize these applications will likely increase.
That's right. A thriving ecosystem creates a network effect that can drive value for both the platform and its native token.
Technological advancements are another potential catalyst for growth. Cardano's ongoing development, including the transition to Ouroboros Laos and the integration of these privacy-enhancing technologies like Midnight, could really attract new investors and developers, which would ultimately boost the platform's value.
Yes. Demonstrating continued innovation and addressing these key challenges, like scalability and privacy, can instill confidence in investors and attract those developers who are looking for those cutting-edge platforms.
And then additionally, any positive regulatory developments could have a significant impact on the entire crypto market, including Cardano. If governments around the world create clear and favorable regulations for cryptocurrencies, that could lead to increased institutional investment and mainstream adoption.
That's a very crucial point. Regulatory clarity can remove a major barrier to entry for institutional investors, who are often hesitant to invest in assets that operate in a gray area from a legal standpoint.
So this increased institutional investment could bring a significant influx of capital into the crypto market, which could potentially drive up prices across the board, including ADA.
Precisely. Institutional adoption is often seen as a major catalyst for mainstream acceptance and wider adoption of cryptocurrencies.
And then finally, we can't ignore the influence of overall market sentiment. If the crypto market turns bullish and investor confidence returns, it could lift all boats, including ADA.
That's right. Market psychology plays a significant role in price movements, so a positive sentiment, driven by factors like technological advancements, favorable regulations, or just simply a renewed belief in the potential of cryptocurrencies, can create a self-fulfilling prophecy and drive prices higher.
So the price of ADA is not only influenced by Cardano's specific developments, but also by the overall sentiment and trends within the broader cryptocurrency market.
Absolutely. It's essential for investors to really understand both the micro and macro factors at play when evaluating any cryptocurrency investment.
Okay, so given the risks and rewards that we've just discussed, what are some key considerations for potential investors who are considering adding ADA to their portfolio?
Well, first and foremost, conducting thorough research and developing a solid understanding of Cardano's technology team roadmap and competitive landscape is crucial.
Investors need to go beyond just looking at the price chart. They need to delve into the fundamentals of the project to assess its long-term potential.
Exactly. Understanding the technology, the team behind it, and the project's long-term vision are really essential for making an informed investment decision.
And it's also critical to honestly assess your own risk tolerance and your investment goals. Cardano, like any cryptocurrency, carries a certain level of risk. So investors need to be comfortable with the potential for volatility and price fluctuations.
Yeah, investing in cryptocurrencies should not be approached lightly. It's really essential to have a clear understanding of your financial situation, your risk appetite, and your investment goals before allocating any capital to this asset class.
And I think diversification is another really important principle of responsible investing. So spreading your investments across multiple assets, including different cryptocurrencies, can help mitigate risk.
That's a really fundamental principle of sound investing. Diversification helps to reduce the impact of any single investment performing poorly. It's a great way to manage risk and protect your overall portfolio.
And then, of course, choosing a reputable and secure exchange. For buying, selling, and storing your ADA is also really essential.
Absolutely. Security should be a top priority when choosing an exchange. Look for exchanges with a strong track record of security. robust security measures, and insurance in case of unforeseen events.
And you should also consider things like the exchange's fee structure, user interface, and customer support when you're making your decision.
It's really important to choose an exchange that aligns with your needs and provides a user-friendly experience.
And then finally, staying informed about developments in the cryptocurrency market is really crucial. So this includes following the news, understanding regulatory changes, tracking technological advancements, and being aware of the overall market sentiment.
The cryptocurrency landscape is constantly evolving, so staying up to date is really essential for making informed investment decisions and adapting to the ever-changing market dynamics.
So this concludes part 2 of our deep dive into Cardano. We've explored the platform's weaknesses, future prospects, risks, and potential rewards. In the final segment, we're going to summarize our findings, provide our investment rating for ADA, and offer some concluding thoughts for potential investors, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Cardano. We've covered a lot of ground today, from Cardano's technology to its performance strengths, weaknesses, and its future prospects.
Yeah, so I think in this final segment, it would be good to synthesize all the information that we've gathered and try to paint a clearer picture of what Cardano represents as an investment opportunity.
Okay, so let's start with Cardano's ambition to be a leading platform for secure and sustainable blockchain applications. And I think a key part of that is its layered architecture, consisting of the Cardano settlement layer and the Cardano computation layer, which were both designed with scalability and security in mind.
Yeah, and Cardano's approach to development with its emphasis on this peer-reviewed research and formal verification, well, it definitely instills confidence in the platform's robustness, but it also means that development is slower, which could be a disadvantage in a fast-moving crypto market.
Yeah, for sure. And we also looked at ADA's price performance, and we saw that there was a recent surge in trading volume. It exceeded $1 billion, which could mean that investor interest is growing. However, the 44% decline year to date, and the RSI suggesting that ADA might be overbought, I think those are definitely things that we need to be cautious about.
Yeah, and I think the broader cryptocurrency market dynamics will play a significant role here, particularly the dominance of Bitcoin and the potential for another altcoin season. Those will influence ADA's future price trajectory.
For sure. We also explored a whole range of other factors that could be impacting ADA's price, including network upgrades like the Chang update, which introduced community-driven governance, and of course, partnerships like the Ethiopian government's adoption of Cardano for a blockchain-based ID system.
Yeah, I mean, those developments highlight Cardano's potential for real-world adoption and its commitment to decentralization. But we also can't forget about the competition that Cardano faces from big players like Ethereum, and the challenge of attracting developers and fostering a thriving ecosystem.
We then went on to take a really detailed look at Cardano's strengths: the experienced development team, its focus on security, its efforts to address scalability challenges through its layered architecture, the energy efficiency of its proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, and the really active and dedicated community that's supporting its growth.
Yeah, and those strengths definitely position Cardano as a contender in the blockchain space.
Yeah.
But we also have to consider its weaknesses as well.
Right. We talked about the potential drawbacks of its slower development pace, the uncertainty surrounding cryptocurrency regulations, especially with the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, and just the need to overcome those adoption hurdles, and the challenge of attracting developers to build on the platform.
Yeah, and going forward, Cardano's future prospects are going to be shaped by a lot of different factors, including the implementation of upgrades like Ouroboros Laos, the growth of its ecosystem with new dApps and projects like the privacy-focused Midnight blockchain, and Cardano's ability to navigate the evolving regulatory landscape and adapt to these new trends in the crypto space.
And then we wrapped up by assessing the risks of investing in Cardano, highlighting that inherent price volatility in the crypto market, the potential impact of regulatory changes, the technological risks, the competitive pressures, and the potential for market manipulation.
But on the other hand, we also explored the potential rewards, wider adoption leading to more demand for ADA, the growth of the Cardano ecosystem, further technological advancements, and the potential for positive regulatory developments, and a bullish market sentiment to drive ADA's price upward.
Okay, so now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Taking all of this into consideration, the in-depth analysis and the risks and rewards associated with investing in Cardano, it's time to give ADA an investment rating. On our scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, so we need to consider everything here and come up with an overall judgment call. It's not easy because there's so much to consider.
Absolutely. I think we can agree that Cardano has a really solid foundation with a strong team, a well-thought-out approach to the technology, and a growing ecosystem. But that slower development pace, the regulatory uncertainties, and the competition are definitely things to keep in mind.
Okay, so balancing everything out, weighing the potential against the risks, and considering where Cardano is positioned in the market right now, I think I would give ADA an investment rating of 6 out of 10.
Okay, so a 6 puts ADA in that potentially good investment category. It acknowledges the platform's potential. But it also stresses that we need to be cautious and really consider the risks. It's crucial that potential investors do their own research, understand their risk tolerance, and invest responsibly.
Yeah, absolutely. And this rating is not a recommendation to buy or sell ADA. It's just a starting point for your own research because the cryptocurrency market changes constantly. So you need to stay informed and adapt your investment strategies accordingly.
We encourage you to continue exploring Cardano, keep up with the latest developments, and keep learning about the cryptocurrency landscape as a whole. We hope that this deep dive has helped you understand this platform and its native token ADA. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Crypto Analytica for more. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Until next time, happy investing.